Hello everybody. So this is a really quick video on how to do the HTML Scavenger Hunt. So I actually made a mistake in the last video. I had you all download CSS Debugger when I meant to have you download Debug CSS. So understandably the mistake happened. So we go into Debug CSS, we get this extension, and this is the one that is pretty good. So anyway, what's going to happen is that I want you to look at that list of common HTML elements and then go through web pages, doesn't matter which one. For my example here, I'm just looking through New York Times, and your goal is to find those elements that are on that list somewhere on the page. So one way to do it is to turn on the debugger, and that's going to highlight all the elements. It's going to give these outlines around them. And if I press the Control key or Command key, see that bottom bar there? How it's detailing like what I'm hovering over? So like this is a div. And this is a button, this is an image tag, over here is a span tag, down here is a table data, and so forth. And basically you're going to be just taking screenshots or like listing the locations of these different elements. And there's another way to also do the scavenger hunt, which would be to open up the inspector. So Chrome has something called the inspector, which you're going to get by Command-Shift-I or J, depending on what device you are, or Control-Shift-I for Windows. And that brings up this thing called the inspector on the right. So the inspector is kind of like what's happening behind the scenes of your web page. And in your inspector, you see how as I hover things, it highlights them on the page. That's because this is a visual representation of the HTML that the page is running. So for example, if I go down here, you'll notice there's a lot of script tags. There's a lot of JavaScript running on this page. And in here is this body tag and an iframe and so forth. And if I hover the body tag and I delete it, all of a sudden the page is blank because I deleted the element that contains all this information. Now I can undo that, and now we're back to where we started, except that this didn't load yet. Anyway, in here you can actually do Command F or Control F, and I could search for like a table tag. Okay, so apparently I found one. I think it seems to be highlighting it. Is this a table? No, let's find the next one. iframe, there we go. So this element right here, see how it's a table tag? That would be one element in your scavenger hunt. You found a table, it's this thing. Take a screenshot of this, copy on the URL, whatever you got to do so that you know where it is and you can find it. And basically you'll just do that for the other elements as well. So like there's a bunch of, so here we have an iframe tag, for example, and if I scroll into view, maybe it's not even, is it here? It might not be visible on the page. Sometimes an element will not be visible on the page, which is a little bit annoying. Let's just go for a div. Make it easy. Okay, so find ourselves a div. Let's actually go for less than div, because that will be the element that we're looking for. Okay, here we go. So this element here is a div that contains, it looks like basically everything. And if I go down up to here, so this is a div, that's a div, that's a div, and so forth. So basically you're going to be using a combination of the debug CSS to hover and figure out what these elements are, and also the Chrome inspector to look through this list of the elements and find the ones that you're looking for. And that's the whole exercise. So go to it and get a little bit of a better understanding of how to like look around and understand how the web page is built and what elements are building it. And thank you. I'll see you later.